Well, actually, I think you could have a lightning headphone jack. Yeah. Oh, lightning. What's the new one?
Okay, we are back live. There we are firing up, and connection was lost, so we probably have to close this and get over here to Hangouts video call.
Oh man, you know what? 2-minute warning, or maybe less, I'm not sure. It's not 4 days, so we're not that specific. Open channel D. Yeah, there it is. Aurora. The secretary in the
All right, you got me now?
Ah, there we are. Now I just have to get my camera going again. No devices detected. Crap. Come on. Be nice to me.
It's okay, John. It doesn't matter what you think. You're in California. So it doesn't matter what you think or who you vote for, because there are enough people voting in one direction so that even if you agree with them, it still doesn't matter. This is a
That's illegal, just like the American Revolution.
There we go. Video.
Hey guys.
There's guys. And they're still getting organized here. And then we can start.
Are you organized?
No, but I'm faking it.
Dissecting the mechanical, topographical, and biochemical mechanisms in neuronal differentiation. Is that a poster? It's a poster for dissecting mechanical, topographical, and biochemical mechanisms in neuronal differentiation.
So speak again, Joseph, just to make sure.
All right, start reading my
Yep. Good.
PowerPoint.
I've got.
How to build primitives in Creo 4th for Excel.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
the title of my presentation.
I think we're good.
Is that good enough for you?
I think we are good. Yep.
Can we get started?
We have maybe a minute to go, and we still don't have any of the people's attention, as you can tell.
That's okay.
Can Joseph begin, Kevin?
Anytime.
Okay.
He doesn't need my permission either, nor do you.
Then
right.
Go ahead, Joseph. We're set.
Say who you are.
Thank you.
So introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, my name is Joe O'Connor. I'm a 4th enthusiast of many years. I'm here to talk about my new scripting language, Creo 4th for Excel. We're going to discuss how to build primitives in it. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to attempt to share my desktop.
It won't matter when he shares his desktop. See?
Okay, everyone see my desktop now?
Yes, looks very good.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to start the slideshow. Okay, as I said, the title of my presentation is How to Build Primitives in Creole 4th for Excel. It was inspired by Kevin's suggestion to have a 5-minute or a 10-minute introduction to my scripting language, a how-to. So, question is, how do you write programs in Creole 4th for Excel or CFE? The short answer is you don't. Instead, you write an instruction set to solve your problems. As users of 4th, you're all familiar with that methodology. So there are two ways to write these instructions. As primitives, these are methods of a class which consist of raw VBA code and are set up using the build primitive subroutine. And B is high-level colon definitions. They're defined with colon, which we all know and love, and terminated with a semicolon. This tutorial will concentrate on writing new primitives. So, a bit more on primitives. Other 4th compilers often allow the programmer to write an assembly language with the code encode pair. It may be helpful to think of CFE primitives as analogous to writing in its assembly language. So VBA is the assembly language for Creole 4th for Excel. How to build a primitive, the short version. You write a function in a class module. It must take a global simple props. That's an object that I've created as an argument and return 0. Then you set up an entry in the dictionary with a build primitive call. So that's a very general summarized version of how to build a primitive. What are the specifics of doing it? So I've outlined the steps, which I've tried to make as simple as possible, but there is some involvement with it. Okay, this is the spreadsheet for Creole 4th. We're going to go to the code now. Wrong slide. Okay. You open CFL Excel 1.xls. That's at the GitHub site. You can download it if you like. Make sure that macros are enabled. You Alt F11 to write new code. So let's go back to that. I set up a do nothing class called tutorial code. That's where we'll be copying and pasting code into AppSpec, which is the real class module that we want to modify. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this code that we want to create the primitive, call it do hello from CFE. We copy it to AppSpec. Save it. Oh, it says we can't save it because the file is read-only. I guess that's just because I downloaded it. We'll call it CFL2. Okay, so what do we do next? Let's go back to where we were before. Oops. Okay, we've completed step 3, navigate to the tutorial class module 4. We find the code for the function do hello from CFE. We copy the code and its comment immediately. Find the code, copy the code and its comment immediately above, and then we paste the code into the app spec module. We've done that. So what are the next set of steps? Okay, we have to copy the line from do hello from CFE with the function name and its comment immediately above, and then navigate to the app spec main module. So let's do that next. So we do a copy, and then we go to the app spec main module. We find the gen build primdef2 subroutine and place the cursor inside of it. So let's go back. Next step, hit the FK5 key. A dialog box will pop up with the generated code for the build primitive call. So you hit F5. You can see that the build primitive code is generated. Do a Control X, hit the done, and then we paste it in here into the build defs definition. All right. So step 11, cut and paste this code into the build def sub. Change the code from XXS to hello CFE. This will be the name that the word will be called by. Let's take care of that step. Then next step after that is to type Control R and Control C to rebuild the dictionary and global data structures sheet. So we have to go out to the spreadsheet to do that. So this blows away the dictionary and the global data structures, removes the Creole fourth environment. Control Shift C rebuilds it. Okay, so now if we look in the dictionary, look in the name field, and we see below CFE. So let's copy that. All right, what we want to do next is test the primitive. First, you make sure that you rebuilt the dictionary and the primitive is listed in it. Check the dictionary tab, which we just did. And then you type hello CFE without the quotes in the input area. And you hit the submit button, dialog box saying hello from CFE should pop up. So let's do that. Hit the submit button. That's exactly what happened. So we built our first primitive. If you want to do more, the previous example is admittedly very simple. There are no stack effects for one thing. One of the great things about Forth is its easy parameter passing via the stack. So the next example will be a primitive that puts some data onto the stack. This is here is a random number generator. So let's go back to our tutorial code. All right, we're going to copy the function and put it in AppSpec. All right. Just doing this to save ourselves some time, obviously. It's quicker than me typing out the code. So, all right, so we do the same thing we did before. We copy the name and the comment. And we go to AppSpec name. Go into build primdef2 definition and hit F5. So that generates the build primitive code. And we copy and paste it into builddefs. Okay, again, we have the XXX, so we have to change the name. So we have to change it to R100 to TOS. Okay, we rebuild with Control R, Control C, and then we type R100 to TOS in the input area. Let's do that. Let's check if it's in the dictionary. Yes, it is. So let's copy it and run the code in the input area. Okay, so put the number 11 on the data stack. Okay. Here are some rules and guidelines for setting up new primitives. First, you set up a function in the class module that takes a global simple props object and returns 0. 2, create an entry in the dictionary with a call to the build primitive sub. 3, the simplest way to do this is to use the AppSpec class module and the AppSpec main regular module. 4, declare all variables before using them, since option explicit is defined. That's in VBA. So, any questions? Oh, I forgot one more card. This is how you push data with a primitive. You set the scratch range to IRAND to whatever value you want to push on the stack, and then you call the push method for the global simple props object. Popping data, use the pop method, the same object, and you also reference the data stack and the data stack marker. That's the named range that indicates the depth of the stack. You can push and pop data the same way with other stacks like the return stack or the vocabulary stack. And then you set that with the pop method, that pops it into the scratch area, and then you pull it off with the assignment statement. Okay. So are there any questions?
Turn on microphone again. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I don't see anybody waving their hands and having a question. Anybody got a question? Nope.
Okay. So that concludes my presentation.
That was good.
Oh, thank you. All right, I'll stop the screen sharing.
What are we doing? You got anything else to talk about, Joe? Or
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I try to make creating a primitive as easily as possible. So what I've done is I've created some code generators. So that allows you to copy and paste to create a primitive with a stack comment, and then it will generate the code to create the build primitive code.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds good.
So, thank you.
Kevin walked over here for some reason.
I was hoping he would send his slides and maybe roll up demo code if there's like a separate file of demo code, and send it to David for the web page.
Sure, I'll do that. Also, everything is available on GitHub, including the PowerPoint. So
That's even
the
better.
best thing to do is, the best thing to do is to download the spreadsheet and go through the PowerPoint exercise. That'll give you an idea, the one that I just went through. That'll give you an idea of how to create primitives.
Good.
Well, thank you
Okay.
very much, Joe.
Sounds good.
You're welcome, Kevin.
Okay. Then until next time, we'll sign you off, and we'll figure out what we're doing next. I'm not sure.
What we're doing next is calling it a day.
Okay.
We'll stop the webcast and blather amongst ourselves for a little while, and then run out the door screaming.
Okay. So we may get to go home early. So you have yourself a good day, Joe, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yep.
Christmas.
Right,
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you all.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Yep. Bye.
Okay. So shall I shut down webcast or the stream?
I think that's a good thing to do.
Okay, folks, we'll see you next month.
Next year.
Next year. And next time.
We might be trumped by then.
We will be trumped by then. Well, there's still a maybe, but yes, all sorts of things can happen in a month, as we've seen in the last month. So, who knows? But we are set. Okay, I'm stopping streaming, and we're done for the month, and we'll talk to you later.